Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I've been hunting down leaders and staff for organizations for more than 40 years. And today I'm going to talk with you about the two best questions you should ask on every interview you ever go on and when you should ask them. Now, let me start by reviewing what a typical interview looks like. You walk in, you sit down, the interviewer looks at you and in that certain voice says, tell me about yourself and what you've been doing professionally. And you answer. And they ask you some follow-up questions and you answer those. And if you're in disciplines where there's objective knowledge that's required, like in IT or engineering or accounting, they'll ask you some questions to measure your knowledge. Eventually they'll say, so do you have any questions for us? You'll say, tell me about the job. They'll do that. You'll say, sounds great, terrific, we'll get back to you. And that's a typical interview. Let's do a different interview. So you walk in, you sit down, and as the two of you, get comfortable in your seats, just as each of you has your derriere reach the seat, I'd like you to start talking. And you start by saying, thank you for making the time to meet with me. Now, I remember seeing the position description, but I want to get your take on the role. Could you tell me about the job as you see it and what I could do to help you? Or if you've been scheduled by an agent, you might say, I spoke with Jeff Altman about the job and he gave me a brief description, but I want to get your take on the role. Tell me about the job as you see it and what I could do to help. Now, what this does is it takes that question you normally ask at the end of the interview and moves it up to the very beginning. See, my thinking is, even if you've seen a job description, even if you've replied to an ad, what you're able to do now is by moving that question to the beginning, you're able to get the current thinking about the job and tailor your answers to what matters to them. See, again, even if you've seen the job description, from the time they started interviewing to now, they may have changed their thinking about it. So you want to get the current thinking that they have about the job, get the information at the beginning of the interview, and then use it to your advantage. What are you going to do? Not lie, but you're going to talk about what you've done in the context of what they're looking for. See, most people talk about what they've done professionally on an interview, but they don't talk about what they've done in the context of what the employer is looking for because they don't know until the end of the interview. So that to me is a great question to ask, and I've told you exactly when to ask it. Now, since we've taken that question out of the end of the interview, see, when you normally say, tell me about the job, you normally ask it at the end of the interview. You can't just re-ask the question, of course. You have to substitute a different question. And this is the question I'd like you to substitute at the end of the interview when they ask you whether you have any questions for them. Here it goes. So let's say it's a year from now, and it comes time for you to give me my review. And I haven't just done a good job. I haven't just done a great job. Maybe I've done one of the best you've ever seen. What would I have accomplished during that year that would cause you to give me that kind of review? Now, number one is you're letting the employer know you're not thinking small, you're thinking about doing great work. Number two is you're going to get an idea of how realistic they are in their thinking about this job. Because after all, if they mention something that's totally crazy that you would have accomplished, how would you ever do it? But, again, what you're doing is planting a seed in their mind about your drive for excellence. You're getting them to talk about the job and some of the day-to-day stuff in the role differently than they might otherwise, with a great question that I think will give you a lot of good information. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, come over to my website, which is jeffaltman.com, and sign up for a complimentary subscription to my e-zine, which is called No BS Job Search Advice e-zine. It has advice for job hunters that will help you for a long, long time. There are also other videos that are available at my website, information about the job market, places that you can post your resume, easy to work with career builder links, access to Job Search Universe and Indeed, two meta search engines that search thousands of sites concurrently, information about my books and guides to job hunting as well as other people's books, all of which are available on Amazon. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.